So recently, Claude released their plugin for Excel. Maybe you've tried Copilot in Excel. I know I have and been pretty disappointed in it, but Claude for Excel I recently installed and I've been playing with it, and I am very impressed in how it works, how easy it is to work, and some stuff you can do it. So this video is going to be a super quick demo of 3 use cases that I think are pretty cool, but really you can experiment, try it for yourself, and at the end I'll show you how you can quickly install it. Okay, use case number 1. I have 3 quotes from subcontractors, each with different inclusions and exclusions, and I want a quick bid comparison. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 3 quotes, attach them to Claude, and say, please perform. I'll phrase it differently. Here are 3 electrical quotes for the electrical worked on my project. Please perform a comprehensive bid analysis and create a bid comparison table, paying attention to paying attention to inclusions and exclusions. So I run that, and I've got this setting on, which is accept all edits, because I'm happy for it to edit this blank Excel document. I'm not worried about it breaking anything. What it does is it will read the documents and start preparing a big comparison table. Now, you can definitely enhance this and make it better. You could have uploaded the project requirements before that. So taken the original tender package. So you've got a baseline to compare it against, and also the breakdown of your budget. But just a quick demo, but I just uploaded the 3 quotes and I wanted a comparison between all of them. So, and let's just see Claude working away in the background. Now, it's probably going to take around, it's going to take a couple minutes to run, but you can see it's just going through and creating this entire bid comparison for me. Okay, so now it's run. You can see it's put the quotes in a table. Like, it did this all from the single prompt as well. It's put all the quote comparisons in a table. It's got line by line comparisons. It's got exactly what is being excluded. Again, if you uploaded your tender documents before this and gave them that as context, it would do a way better job. You can see scope inclusions and exclusions matrix. You can see normalized cost comparison. So it's actually made an estimate. So like you can see you've gone from originally the most expensive quote is the cheapest because it covers the full scope. Again, because I didn't give it the original bid documents, it doesn't know if Spark Tech Integrated has specifically excluded anything. It's got an explanation of how it does it, and it has base bid versus cost comparison. I don't know how useful that bar chart is, but yeah, it's really pretty impressive. And then you can go further. You could say, can you generate a list of RFIs to ask each contractor? And it's going to come back with, RFI was probably the wrong term here. I'm sure it'll work out what I actually meant, but it will basically generate a list of questions that I can ask each contractor based on their exclusions. Now, I should also say, like, you can do this in Claude. Like, that is something you could very easily do in Claude. Maybe it's not the most shocking thing in the world. The thing you can't do in Claude or ChatGPT when you just go into the general Claude app and create a worksheet like this is you can't get it in this easily editable format. It'll give you an Excel document you can download, but the fact that Claude is sitting in Excel and can do all this stuff is, I find, a lot easier. And I'm going to show you a next example where you're doing this to prepare a construction estimate, where I actually think it is almost the point where you've got an AI estimator. Okay, the next example I've got is I have a estimate I want Claude to help me prepare. So I've got my pricing schedule, which is a breakdown of the project scope. I've given it the bill of quantities. So I've found AI is not great at reading drawings and doing quantity takeoffs. I don't think quantity takeoffs really take that long, and I think they're probably the fundamental building block of estimating. So I think it isn't a huge waste of time to do it yourself, but I want to show you that using Claude to prepare an estimate is actually really easy. So I've given it the margins I want it to apply. I've given the indirect cost, the direct costs, and now I'm going to tell it, unselect everything. I'm going to upload the scope of works the client sent me, and I'm going to say, based on, Oh, sorry. The other thing I should say is I have a resource library here with all the different rates and productivities I wanted to use. So based on the pricing schedule with the quantities, please prepare a detailed estimate for this project. Use the resource library I have provided. Create one tab with workings for each item in the pricing schedule. And we're going to set it to work. Again, I think this is way better than just doing this in the Claude interface primarily because you can edit it and change stuff yourself, and it's doing it in Excel. So it's going to link stuff. You're going to be able to edit, say, the rates you want for a truck driver. You're like, oh, no, I want to use $85 an hour. Claude will link everything to the pricing worksheets. So you can update the rate somewhere and it'll update everywhere. It's just really easy way to interact with AI, I find, through Excel for a lot of the construction tasks we're trying to do. So I've set that, and it's probably going to take a couple minutes to run. The other thing I will say before it like scares some people is Claude is way more expensive than ChatGPT. I'm on the Pro Plus plan, which is like $120 a month. But for me, it's worth it because I use it all the time. I think it's awesome. But if you're using Opus 4.6, which is the new model, it will chew through your credits very, very fast. Okay, so while I look at this, while it's still working, I can see each item is linked to the relevant cell and gives me a total. So if I go 1.1 project management and overheads, the quantity of an engineer is 18 weeks. It's come up with 20 hours a week for a part-time site engineer, which I think is a reasonably good assumption for a job like this. Survey and land equipment, 10 days for survey, surveyor, temporary erosion control, and environmental controls. 1.2 is mobilization, demobilization. So floating everything in. It's got 2 floats because you're floating in, floating out. I mean, this is this is pretty decent. Again, I love the fact that it's in Excel because you can look at everything and edit it. So mobilization, demobilization. Let's go topsoil. What was the first direct cost? Topsoil, 16,000 meters squared, $9.38 per meter squared. Let's look at that build up. 2.1. You've got 72 hours of a plant operator. Productivity calculations, quantity 16,390. Light clearing 1,800 meters a day. That's from our resource library. Days required to clear. So it's got quantity divided by production. Grubbing and stripping from the resource library, 32 days. And then based on these, it's got 8-hour days for clearing with dozer, chainsaws, and clearing tools. I mean, it's all really good stuff. I mean, this obviously relies on, if you have a really good production rate library and database, it does it very, very well. But and also if you've broken down the project scope well and done the calculation. So then it's gone through and priced the entire thing. It's coming up with a cost. It's got 10% margin, 2% corporate overheads. It's given us our indirect costs and bank guarantees. It's got rates for everything. And again, it's built off our resource library. So all it's doing is taking rates and compiling them. And again, it's in Excel, so you can manually go through and check everything. If I was reviewing this, I would again use the 80-20 rule. AI does make mistakes. So I would look at this item, this item, this item, and this item, and I'm already at like 80% of the costs. So I would review the big ones, make sure they're right. Yeah, and literally one prompt, it is built an entire estimate with a separate tab for every single working item. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you, I think is really cool as well. I want you to take all this information, project scope, productivity, and create a new tab with a detailed Gantt chart. All key client milestones should be on the Gantt chart. For example, contract award, access to site, and it should show our practical completion day. the Gantt chart should be easily editable. Now, it's going to take all this information and it is going to build a Gantt chart for it. Now, you have to understand, like, I'm trying to build an estimating software. When stuff like this comes out, I actually find it quite unsettling. I've put all this time and effort into building estimating software, and being like 110% honest, I don't know if you can sort of compete with how easy to use some of this stuff is becoming. Okay, so being honest with what happened here, after I ran it, it started doing it. I must have overloaded the context window because it's saying tried to compact the conversation and instructions. So compacting conversation is when it exceeds the context window. So what I would do here is I would just reload and say, this is a construction estimating spreadsheet. Your task is to use this data and prepare an indicative Gantt chart on a separate tab. Assume project start date is 10th of February. Show all client milestones like access to design, IFC, etc. Base the scope on the resources and productivity used in the estimate. Now, I don't think that is a super good instruction, but it was literally just me typing what I was thinking. It's now going through, it started again. I just find when it starts to compact the conversation, because of the context window limitations, it just becomes way less reliable. But we'll see how this attempt goes. And let's just check in on how it's going. It's got our Earthworks program. It's got all the client milestones clearly shown. Now, it's just done these as graphics, so you can't actually type and change things unless it is done. I don't think it has, unless it's done conditional formatting. So it's not, I guess it's not going to be as good as like Microsoft Project and a file you can edit, but it has a pretty decent program in there. So it's basically taken. Now, it's obviously made up these dates. If you tell them the dates, it's going to be much better, but it's basically gone ahead and turned our estimate into a Gantt chart. Now, again, I'll stress, I think this is awesome because it probably solves one of the problems which is annoying about using AI, is it will just regurgitate and spit out these massive documents to you. There's no human in the loop. They can create a spreadsheet or they can create a massive text document, but you're the one trawling through it, editing it. I think this is awesome because you can give it small, discrete little tasks. You can edit it. You can check it. It's easy to work. It's much easier to work with AI when you're both in a document versus when you're in a chat interface. So yeah, I'm keen to hear if you guys have found any other cool use cases or any other stuff you've thought of, but that's the basics. They're 3 really cool use cases. I'm sure if you spend a bit of time playing with it, you can think up 100 other ones.